Storms can have unpredictable and devastating effects, especially on community trees. Most trees are well equipped to withstand most weather events. However, some can cause safety concerns, damage property and utilities, block emergency routes, and can be costly to clean up. Through proper care, communities can reduce the amount of tree damage during and after storms. Today, we're going to focus on street trees because if they fail, they can block emergency routes. Trees provide many valuable benefits. They create shade and reduce energy costs. They reduce air pollution and stormwater runoff. They improve our health and well-being. They reduce crime. They increase property values, and they're a beautiful part of our community. Trees grow to withstand movement and wind, and moderate winds can actually make trees stronger. Strong winds, however, can cause trees to move beyond their flexibility limits and fail. Communities can take actions before storms to try to reduce the amount of tree damage and keep their emergency routes clear. The first step in that storm mitigation process is identifying the high-risk trees in the right-of-way. Trees that are unhealthy, have defects, or have a compromised root system have a higher likelihood of failure in strong winds. These high-risk trees typically have one or more characteristics that can be assessed by sight. Knowing the history of the tree in the site is also helpful. Has the tree had past storm damage or bad pruning? Has there been construction damage in the root zone? Or is the tree showing signs of drought stress? We look for defects anywhere in the tree. You look for things like weak branch attachments, compromised root zones, large branches with similar diameters and acute branching angles, and far out-reaching limbs, as these tree parts can split in strong winds and cause damage around and below the tree. We also look for decay when assessing trees in the right-of-way. Decay can show up as a cavity in the trunk, but can also be present in the roots and the crown. Some species are also more susceptible to failure in strong winds, whether it be through a lack of wood strength, being susceptible to decay, or just having a natural form that predisposes that species to more failure in strong winds. In the case of street trees, pruning is the most common and cost-effective method to manage these concerns. Now we'll observe an arborist performing some common pruning methods that can help mitigate storm risk in street trees. Remember, any pruning does result in some stress for the tree, so it's important to not remove any more live tissue than necessary. First, the arborist will assess for the presence of codominant branches, which are branches that are similar in diameter and have a weak attachment to the tree. These tree parts can split in strong winds and cause severe damage. This tree does not have severe codominant issues, but if it did, the arborist would first select the branch to remain and then prune the problem branch back to the first lateral structural branch or to the main stem, whatever's necessary. It's important that those pruning cuts happen at the junction or union of two branches, as pruning in between those unions can create a weak structure in that part of the tree. For this tree, the arborist will thin the crown of the tree to allow more wind movement through the crown. This technique is known as crown thinning. This will also allow more sunlight exposure to the interior of the crown, helping with any foliar diseases or issues. We use the same technique of reduction cuts to reduce the size and length of any branches. This is especially important for branches that have grown out too far from the stem of the tree. It's important to prune trees when they're young if possible, as large pruning wounds can result in decay and the formation of small branches called sprouts that can turn into hazardous limbs as they grow. Trees play a vital role in our community and provide many important economic, social, and environmental benefits. This video has presented several pruning recommendations and techniques to help mitigate storm risk associated with street trees. With the increasing frequency of severe weather events and other environmental stressors, it is paramount that we care for our community trees so that we have a vibrant and safe community forest for all. For more information on assessing street trees and for techniques to help mitigate any storm risk associated with those street trees, please visit the Community Forestry Academy or the Southern Group of State Foresters Urban and Community Forestry web pages.